Dragon's Dogma 2 is looking like it's going to be the RPG of RPGs. This is a genre that's built on player expression and mechanical control over progression as its main tenets, and Dragon's Dogma 2, like many other role-playing games, is set to offer that in spades. A lot of that is going to come from the many vocations that will be available, which is what classes are known as in Dragon's Dogma 2. The game is touting 10 total vocations, promising 10 completely unique playstyles, each with their own weapons to use, skills to unleash, mechanics to master, and intricacies to learn, equipable by both the player and pawns, AI-controlled custom companions. Ahead of the open-world Behemoth launch on March the 22nd, here we're going to take a look at these vocations, and everything that we know about them to this point. Fighter. Let's start off with the fundamentals. The Fighter is going to be one of 4 basic vocations available in Dragon's Dogma 2. If you're looking for a good old-fashioned melee combat build, this is going to be a good starting point. Equipped with a sword and a shield, the Fighter will be a capable vocation for both offensive and defensive purposes, making it well suited to play the role of damage-dealing tank. For both the player that are starting out on their journey and pawns created by players to back them up in fights, the Fighter class is likely to be a popular choice. Warrior. For a much more damage-focused melee class, you're going to want to look at the Warrior, another vocation players need to look forward to. The Warrior is an advanced vocation, and has access to some of the most devastating attacks across all vocations. Unlike fighters with their one-handed swords, warriors will take to the battlefield with heavier two-handed weapons, and while the lack of a shield makes them more vulnerable to damage, being able to wear heavy armor should help curtail that issue to some extent. Do take note, however, that by their very nature, warriors are going to be slower, more lumbering than most other classes in the game. Archer. Back to the basics now, with another basic vocation in the form of the Archer, your jumping off point if you want to play Dragon's Dogma 2 with a ranged build. Archers are more vulnerable to damage than most other vocations in the game, but thanks to the use of their bows, they're also able to maintain distance from enemies and seek out useful positions and vantage points on the battlefield. In addition to being capable of firing off quick flurries of attacks, the Archer will also be able to identify enemy weaknesses for companions to exploit. Thief. Many players are looking forward to this basic vocation in the form of the Thief. Focused largely on melee combat, the Thief is essentially going to be your classic rogue, using their agility and nimbleness to their advantage by flitting about the battlefield and swiping and slashing at enemies with quick flurries of attacks with their twin daggers. Additionally, thieves will also, true to their name, be capable of stealing items from enemies and other NPCs, something that is likely to come in handy both in and out of combat. Mage. We now come to the 4th and final basic vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2, which is the Mage, which is pretty common across most role-playing games. A jack-of-all-trades magic user, the Mage is, much like the Archer, a class best suited to those who prefer ranged combat. Though their defensive attributes aren't the best when faced with melee attacks, Mages do offer a number of advantages in the magical department, from being able to use offensive spells to supporting allies with healing spells, stat and elemental buffs, and more. Sorcerer. For those who want a more damage-focused magic class, the advanced vocation Sorcerer will be the way to go, though it's going to play quite differently from the Mage. Unlike the more well-rounded mages, sorcerers focus almost exclusively on dealing damage, using their larger, two-handed staffs to cast deadlier spells, including several area of effect ones. There is a catch, however, since sorcerer spells take a longer time to charge. While those cooldowns are in effect, you're going to have to find ways to stay away from enemies and avoid taking damage. Magic Archer. Another advanced vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2 is the Magic Archer, a hybrid vocation that, as its name suggests, combines magical and ranged abilities, and, like a few other classes in the game, can't be used by pawns. Equipped with magic-infused bow and arrows, the Magic Archer is, similar to the regular archer, a ranged specialist that can do a little bit of everything, from dealing damage to supporting and healing allies. Magic Archers also have a unique ability that allows them to unleash a deadly area of effect attack by sacrificing a chunk of their max HP. The Mystic Spearhand. The Mystic Spearhand is a hybrid advanced vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2, which means it'll combine magic and melee attributes. Usable only by the player, this vocation will allow you to equip a weapon known as the Duo Spear when facing enemies head-on in up-close battles. Meanwhile, from a distance, you'll still get plenty of use out of this class thanks to its unique ability to paralyze enemies and even send objects in the environment crashing into them. Trickster. The Trickster is another player-exclusive advanced vocation in Dragon's Dogma 2. Tricksters will use a weapon called the Censer, a unique tool that expels smoke that can conjure illusions to turn the tide of battle. The Trickster is likely going to be a support-focused vocation, especially with its primary purpose being to use the Censer's abilities to temporarily buff allies. Warffarer. Dragon's Dogma 2's 10th and final vocation is the Warffarer, an advanced vocation that can be best described as the ultimate jack-of-all-trades. The Warffarer is the only vocation in the game that isn't tied to just a single weapon type, but can instead use the weapons and skills of all other vocations in the game. If you like to experiment and keep switching up your playstyle in the heat of battle, the Warffarer class is likely going to appeal to your tastes. Do keep in mind, however, that a Warfarer's versatility comes at a cost, with all of the class's base stats being lower than those of all other advanced vocations in the game. So, what are your thoughts on this? Go ahead and share them in the comments below. And if you like this video, please subscribe to the channel and enable all notifications by clicking the bell icon to get new video updates. We upload every day and would really appreciate your support. Thanks for watching.